Where?
Hey Katie, I'm talking to the United Hospital Center in Bridgeport, and they've got some great opportunities.
Where?
This is where high country and mirrored lakes are gifts that we call almost heaven. A place connected by backyards and gardens. Here, the fabric of Bridgeport envelops you. From Appalachian music and handcrafted artwork to energy innovation and aerospace technology. Our pioneering spirit comes from the winding country roads that reveal magical destinations. Our dedication to service and support of others soars to the heights of the mountains that surround us. And the spirit that unites us lives in the intimacy of a state whose size is comparable to some U.S. cities. In every way possible, the past and the future seamlessly weave through this vibrant community, making it an American town rich with personality. We hope you'll share it with us.
When we moved here, it was in the middle of my son's junior year of high school, and of course he was traumatized at the thought of having to leave his school that he's been through since he was in kindergarten for his senior year. We came to Bridgeport and we first saw the high school. It's quite small, it's an older building. We weren't too sure, but it turns out that it's one of the best, if not the best, schools in West Virginia. We find it to be comparable or better on every level to the school that he was attending in Michigan. They welcomed him with open arms. When he first was on his tour of the high school, he noticed that there were no locks on the lockers and questioned his tour guide, why are there no locks? And she gave him a funny look like, why would you need locks? And he said, well, don't people steal your things? And she said, no, why would anybody steal your things? He said basically they treated him like he was a rock star. And who doesn't like that? We were amazed when we came here that all the state parks are free. Basically, when you go to these parks, you have them to yourselves, and you just don't have those kind of opportunities in other places like you do here.
We moved here in 2001. I had a baby. I was pregnant with a second baby, and we joined this church almost as soon as we got here. This church has always been very warm. If you're talking family church, this is a family church. We could come and Jeff and I could take communion, and the person sitting in the pew in front of us would take care of whatever kids we left in the pew behind us. My second son would get bored in church. I think most kids do, and we tried to sit in the back because we didn't want to be a big scene, and he couldn't take it anymore, so he jumped out of the pew, crawled 5 rows on his belly like an army crawl to the back of the church, and we turned around to at least 5 different families saying, we got him, he's here, it's okay. I was pregnant with my second son when we moved here, and I already had a little boy who was not quite a year old. And I got really lucky. I moved into a neighborhood that had a bunch of young moms with young children like myself. And we formed fast friendships and basically raised our babies together. I wasn't from here, so I needed those friendships, those people that would say, I'm here if you have to go to the doctor, I'm here if you need to go somewhere. We're still friends now. We raised our babies together.
When deciding on our move to Bridgeport, West Virginia, one major factor was the school systems. Being a trained educator, a teacher of 7 years, and a mother of 4 children, it was very important to me that the school systems were phenomenal. And I heard from very many locals that they were outstanding. And having some children in the past several years in the school system, they have proven that true. They are actually ranked top in the state. Bridgeport High School, they were actually, through U.S. News and World Report, ranked at the top 8% of more than 21,000 high schools. The teachers are always available to speak with you about your children's progress and also offer you suggestions to help them grow.
I met my husband in the library when we were both in medical school at West Virginia University. My husband is a native of Clarksburg, West Virginia, which is adjacent to Bridgeport, West Virginia. We got married after medical school and completed our residency at United Hospital Center. My patients are very grateful. They express their gratitude in various ways. I have patients who will bring me farm fresh eggs, homemade jams and jellies. It's always very rewarding to know that somebody thought of us and went that extra mile to express their gratitude to us. We recently visited my sister in Dallas, and I accompanied her to her child's piano lesson. And she said, "Oh, it'll just take 5 minutes." Well, 40 minutes later, we arrived at the piano lesson, and I felt very fortunate being in Bridgeport because my daughter's ballet lesson is 3 minutes away. And I just remembered how every minute she sat in traffic was an extra moment I had with my family.
During the course of your career, you think about places where you'd want to end up. And when I first came here in 2000, it opened up my eyes to, number one, the area. So I saw this as a place of future for me. And after a couple of years here, I was transferred to the St. Louis division as the head of that division. And about 2 years into that job, the opportunity came and I got a phone call and said, "Would you be interested in coming back as the director of the CJIS division here, or back in West Virginia?" And I didn't have to think twice about it. When you live in a large city like in Washington, D.C., or Atlanta, Georgia, or even Jackson, Mississippi, St. Louis, I couldn't get home sometimes for some of the kids' sporting events or school events without having to take leave, or leaving work a couple hours earlier. That just wasn't possible. When you live in a community like Bridgeport, you're able to work a full day's work or get home to see your kids play soccer, softball, baseball, cheerlead, whatever. And that means a lot. It means a lot to them. It means a lot to your own mental state, that you can see your kids do those type of things. Yeah, we'll run to Pittsburgh and we'll go up there and do plays. And we can run to DC when I have business over there, so I can get my fill of it. But literally, the best view I have of Washington, DC is in my rearview mirror.
We found a lovely piece of property that's wooded and mostly flat, naturally terraced with beautiful rock outcroppings, and the best part of all, it has an amazing waterfall on it with a pool at the base of it that you can swim in. And so we are in the process of designing and building a house and a barn to put the horses, and we're just really, really excited. Every time we go there, we pinch ourselves because we can't believe how lucky we are to own an amazing waterfall.